Sobrang dali na ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon mga kaibigan because it is just the most awaited video. Pinakamadalas na nare-request po to sa akin. It is the worth 30K plus PC build. Pero medyo natagalan mga kaibigan kasi I come up with a lot of builds pero I ended up with just one build to consider as the sweet spot sa lahat ng mga nabuo or mga naisip ko na mga pwede na maging build at a 35K or 30K plus price point. So nabanggit ko na 35K. 35K kasi talaga yung inabot ng buong rig natin mga kaibigan because medyo nahirapan talaga tayo. I really tried to do a combo of 3200G and eto rin yung isa sa mga PC builds na nakita ko lately na may mga nagbi-build ng 30K plus and ang kanilang combination is 3200G plus GTX 1660 Ti. Well, it's good because I have mentioned that with my previous build na 20K PC build. Pero, paano kung kaya mong pagsabay-sabayin or you have that out of your pocket na worth 30K plus? Should you go for that kind of build? Yun po yung question dun. So, yun yung sasagutin natin din mamaya mga kaibigan. Plus, there are builds na nakita ko na 3400G and RX 570. It is also a recommended setup, pero questionable ulit siya mga kaibigan. And that is the builds na napansin ko lately. Kaya medyo itong 30K to 35K or less than 40K PC build is napaka-crucial po minsan. May mga times na ganito yung pwede mong maging build, pero that will depend on the situation. Pero ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon mga kaibigan is about the situation na paano kung meron kang 30K plus sa yung bulsa and magpapabuild ka ngayon ng yung system unit with a 30K plus budget. Yan po yung pag-uusapan natin with this RYZEN 5 2600 PC build. And yes, feel free to subscribe mga kaibigan para sa mga ganito pang videos sa mga susunod na mga araw. And of course, marami kayong matututunan na mga tips, tricks, guides na ilalabas ko po kasi medyo wala na masyadong mga new items. Magpo-focus na po ako sa mga guides, tips, or how to mga video na ilalabas natin in the next few days. Kaya stay put lang po kayo mga kaibigan. And of course, feel free to share this video and comment down below kasi dyan din po ako kumukuha ng mga susunod na videos na ilalabas natin mga kaibigan. So ayan lang po mga kaibigan, stay put lang po kayo dyan dahil pag-uusapan na natin ang inyong pinakahihintay, the worth 30K plus PC build. Alright, so we have in here the TECWARE Alpha casing. Yan ulit yung ginamit natin na chassis. Well, i-explain ko po yan mga kaibigan mamaya. Pero ang uunahin natin is yung pinaka main or core components, the processor and the video card. Medyo pagsasabayin ko tong dalawang topic na to or itong dalawang component na to in terms of explaining to you mga kaibigan kung bakit eto po yung mga napili kong components. RYZEN 5 2600 with a GTX 1660. Since ang budget natin mga kaibigan is just 30K plus and I will end up at a 35K budget. Yan lang po talaga yung budget. 35K lang po yung budget natin. So I stick with the RYZEN 5 2600 since it comes with more cores at a 6 cores and also a GTX 1660 video card because this is the video card that you can run almost all of the games at a very decent settings mid to high. Yan po yung dahilan kung bakit eto pong mga video card na ginamit ko. Pero of course, if we have these options like RX 580 and RX 590, then it is a better video cards that you should consider. Pero bakit hindi po yun yung ginamit ko? RX 580 and 590 is good. It is on par with this GTX 1660 if not a better video card option. Pero yun nga lang problema natin mga kaibigan is yung availability. There is a shortage. It is not like the RX 570 that you can avail it in any store. Mapa-provincial yan or metro. Makakabili ka ng RX 570. Medyo minsan pa nga, pahirapan pa. Pero at least, it comes with better numbers compared with the RX 580 and RX 590. Ngayon, The benchmark won't lie mga kaibigan, of course. Yan po yung mga ipapakita ko sa inyo. Benchmark is showing us that this GTX 1660 and our Ryzen 5 2600 in general of all the games that we have tested, it comes with a very decent settings. Yan po yung maganda dito sa combination na to mga kaibigan. Ngayon papasok mga kaibigan yung Ryzen 5 3400G plus the RX 570. Kasi of course if you will be going for a Ryzen 5 3400G, it is a newer processor pero it is not a newer architecture. The Ryzen 5 2600 is a Zen plus Ryzen, so it is just in the same architecture as the Ryzen 5 3400G. Kasi ang talagang nasa third gen lineup talaga mga kaibigan is starting with the 3600. The APU lineup of 3000 series is still under the architecture of the previous version, which is the same with the Ryzen 5 2600. Kaya nga po medyo mababa ang bentahan ngayon sa 3400G is dahil nga po sa bagsak na presyo ng 2600 at a 6,000 price point. So of course, if you will be going for a 30K plus budget, why should you go for an APU or why you should not have that enough budget for a dedicated video card? Of course, you have that enough budget. So you should now go with this Ryzen 5 2600 para mas malaki pa yung may i-allocate mong budget para sa video card. It comes with this higher core count, 6 cores po. It comes with this higher threads, 12 cores po, over the 4 cores, 8 threads, 3400G. Ngayon kung sasabihin mo naman sa akin, it comes with a better IPC performance at a 3000 lineup. Well, tulad yan ng sinabi ko sa inyo mga kaibigan kanina, it is just in the same architecture. Kaya there's no reason for you mga kaibigan, if you will be going for a dedicated video card immediately, dapat mag 2600 ka na po. It is better for those streamers. Streamers or streaming activity sa ating computer, it runs at a better or at a stable performance or mas masusustain po yung stability ng ating streaming if naka hexacore ka po. Kaya nga sinabi po nila mga kaibigan that the sweet spot of streaming is Ryzen 5 1600 nung previous lineup. And same with the 2600, ganun din po. Because if you will be going for a 3400G at a quad-core performance, isipin po natin mga kaibigan na processor po natin ang isa sa mga madidiin pagdating sa streaming. And while the video card is busy for running all of those activities in terms of gaming. Kasi pag nag-streaming ka naman po, hindi naman po nag-streaming ka lang po ng desktop. Of course, you are streaming something and most of the times, games po ang ini-stream natin. And then another thing is for multimedia editors. Napakaganda po ng performance ng 6 cores or ng hexacore or Ryzen 5 2600 in terms of video editing or production or multimedia activities. Lalong-lalo na yung significant gain from quad-core. If you are from an APU 3200G or 2200G or 3400G, then you will be jumping for an hexacore. Sobrang laki po ng kanyang advantage in terms of rendering time. And that is a diminishing advantage if you will be jumping from hexacore to octa-core. So, dun po natin malalaman mga kaibigan na this Ryzen 5 2600 is the must-go-to processor kung kaya naman pala at a 30K plus price point. Because it comes with this better core count, it comes with this better threads, and that is a thing that it can be taken advantage by those multimedia editors. Same with those engineers, same with those architects mga kaibigan. Yan din po yung isa sa mga course or yan din po yung isa sa mga field of expertise na nagde-demand din ng sobrang taas na processor. And if you are in a very tight budget, you cannot afford to have those worth 70K or 80K PC builds. This is the go-to PC build kasi nga po, you will be having a very big gain. You will be able to comfortably edit all of your projects na medyo hindi magi-struggle yung processor natin. And as I am showing here at the benchmarks, benchmark won't lie. Pinapakita ko din po dito mga kaibigan that this processor can render this project with a Blender ng walang kahasal-hasal. Wala tayong na-encounter na pag-freeze, wala tayong na-encounter na nag-i-stutter or any unusual issues na na-encounter while tandaan nyo po mga kaibigan that while I'm rendering this Blender project, nag-i-screen capture pa po tayo dyan. So, ibig sabihin, yung processor natin talagang sagad na sagad. As you can see, it is now at a 100% consumption yung processor natin. And this Ryzen 5 2600 comfortably finished the rendering project at a very decent time. Hindi siya inabot ng sobrang tagal na oras. Konting minuto lang tapos na kaagad yung project natin. To cut it short mga kaibigan, ang ibig kong sabihin lang po dito, Ryzen 5 2600 na lang po yung piliin natin because it comes with better counts in terms of cores and in terms of threads. At the same time, it is the recommended processor for streaming, for multimedia editors, for engineering works, and of course, the main purpose for gaming. Mas malayo pa rin mas maganda po ito compared with those APUs. Of course, if you can go for an Intel, then you may have the 9400. Pero, the difference in terms of pricing is sobrang layo din. So, you don't have any choice than to go for a Ryzen 5 2600 at a 30K plus or 35K price point, mga kaibigan. And then, moving on to the motherboard, of course, I chose to have the B450 since ang processor natin is now a mainstream processor. Kailangan natin ng mas mataas or it's really the most recommended chipset in terms of motherboard, B450, para you can overclock, you can manipulate the settings in the BIOS with a vast of options compared with those entry levels. And of course, it comes with a better VRM. And then for the storage, I go for the 256GB of RAM since yan po yung isa sa mga pinakamura na NVMe na pwede kong makuha. Pero if you have a concern in terms of the brand or medyo parang atrasado ka sa brand, then you may go for those 240GB SSDs na branded. And then for the RAM, I chose to have the T-Force Delta since it's one of the cheapest options in terms of 2x8 16GB, and it comes with this decent frequency of 3200 MHz. And if wala naman 3200 MHz, then you may go for the 3000 MHz and you may just overclock it or step up the frequency to 3200 MHz. T-Force Delta is one of the best thing that I may recommend as of now, except with those Adata XPG D60G. Isa din po yun sa mga magagandang options na pwede nating makuha. Pero as of now, T-Force Delta is sobrang kalat. Pwede kang maka-avail sa probinsya, pwede kang maka-avail sa metro. And then for the casing, of course, TECWARE Alpha. Bakit TECWARE Alpha ang pinili natin? It comes with these free fans. Meron siyang dalawa sa harap and then meron siyang isa sa likod. So wala po siya sa taas, pero for a temporary setup or for not so long setup, this is, I think, the decent starter pack that I may have. Pero syempre, kung ikaw din naman is nag-build, automatically you will be having a better budget or meron kang ma-allocate siguro na budget in the next few months. Syempre, kailangan mo rin magdagdag dito sa taas, or you may buy an AIO or aftermarket cooler para sa iyong processor. So, yun po yung maganda with this casing. I chose to have this casing kasi hindi ako magkakaroon ng concern in terms of fans na kailangan kong bumili ng panibagong fans or kailangan kong bumili ng another expenses para sa fans. Ito po is meron na siyang free at a price point of 1,995. And then for the power supply, I chose to have the 500 watts power supply Cooler Master MWE. Pero you may have those bronze, meron ding S12 SEASONIC at a 2,750 500 watts. Yun po yung mga pwede mong maging power supplies with this kind of budget na 35K PC build. So mapapansin nyo po mga kaibigan, nag-focus lang po tayo sa core components. I just put all of the budget in terms of the processor and the video card. And then for the RAM and the motherboard. So wala siyang bling-blings, no LED strip, no AIOs, no aftermarket coolers. Wala pong nakalagay dyan. Kasi medyo tight po yung budget natin. And that is the thing that I noticed with those APU builds na bakit inabot ng 35K yan 3200G lang. Kasi ganito, naka-AIO na siya, nakalagay na yung mga RGB fans, meron siyang LED strip, automatically it will really be at that kind of price point. Well, it's okay kung paunti-unti mo rin naman talaga siyang binild, so wala na tayong magagawa dun. Pero if you will be buying a component or a PC rig, tapos nakahanda na yung 30K plus mo, this is the perfect build that you may have. A build that is sobrang finocus yung budget sa mga core components. Board, processor, RAM, and video card. And of course, power supply. Diyan po nag-focus yung budget natin. When you are trying to choose or when you are trying to build something, especially kahit maging anong budget pa yan mga kaibigan, lagi nating tandaan na yung mga AIO aftermarket cooler, kung hindi ka naman nasa mainstream component like RYZEN 7 3700X above or i7 processors above, yung mga aftermarket cooler, yung mga LED strip, RGB fans, pwede mong isunod yung mga yan. If you have the chance to have a casing with those included fans or free fans, stock fans, mas maganda pong eto po yung mga casing na pwede mong i-avail. Para kahit papaano, ang focus lang ng budget mo is with those processors, video cards, or processors and video cards and then RAM. Pero actually with this build, we still have some options na pwede nating i-consider. Since the RAM slot is 4 slot naman yan, pwede mong dagdagan in the next few weeks or after 1 month. Pwede po tayong mag-stick lang muna sa 8 gig. Actually, pag personally, the recommended is this. Pero sa akin kasi personally, when I'm trying to build something, RAM po yung parang isa na din sa mga, kung sobrang gipit na talaga sa budget, isa din po yan sa mga medyo, teka lang, isa munang RAM. Para yung budget ko, pwede kong ilagay sa video card. Isipin na lang natin na yung 2K na may ibabawas, pag dinagdag ko yun sa video card, most likely naka GTX 1660 Ti na ako dito. Or, pwede kong ilagay sa storage kung kailangan ko ng mas malaking storage. Aside from dun sa meron tayong 256 gig na NVMe SSD, pwede pa akong magkaroon ng isang 1 tera para at least agad-agad meron na akong mga PC games na pwedeng laruin with my 8 gig and GTX 1660 video card. Pero actually, that is my personal way of stretching builds or my budget. Lalong-lalo na kung sobrang nagipit ako. Kasi I'm not really out of this world is meron ng nakaserve na golds and silver sa aking table. So, nasubukan ko yung mga situations na sobrang ilang beses ko pang binilang yung meron akong cash para lang may maximize ko yung budget. And when I'm trying to build something, kung alam kong ito pwede ko pala itong ihuli. Kasi with the video card, let's go for the video card. Example na lang po natin. If you will be going for a GTX 1660 and nabitin ka, and naka 16 gig RAM ka na, at GTX 1660 yung naging video card mo, hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na, ay, next month gawin ko yung GTX 1660 Ti. Hindi mo yun magagawa mga kaibigan, unless you will sell this video card so that you can go for a GTX 1660 Ti. Pero if you will be doing it like this, okay, GTX 1660 Ti ka muna, tapos yung RAM ko muna is gagawin ko munang single stick 8 gig. Diba? Next month, pwede ko ulit gawin yan na 16 gig kasi magdadagdag lang ako ng isang RAM because there are 4 slots and I can go for a 24 and then 32 gig of RAM. So, yan po yung mga simpleng tip ko lang po sa inyo mga kaibigan when you are trying to build something out of a very tight budget or you are trying to maximize your budget. So, ito na po ang pinag-uusapan na natin dito is paano natin i-maximize yung budget natin mga kaibigan. That's it mga kaibigan. Hopefully nagustuhan nyo po yung ating video ngayon. And of course, meron tayong ongoing raffle with this TECWARE Alpha chassis. Check nyo po yung nakalink na video sa ating pinned post sa comment section. Click nyo lang po yun. Doon po kayo mag-comment para mai-register po kayo sa ating ongoing na paraffle ng TECWARE Alpha TG chassis. So mga 3 days or 5 days na lang po mga kaibigan from now is may announce na po kung sino po ang maswerteng nanalo ng ating Micro ATX chassis from TECWARE. Pero yan lang po muna ang masasabi ko as of now. Mag-comment po kayo dyan para pwede natin maging topic yung mga isasuggest yung comments. Kasi katulad ng build na to, 30K PC build is out here because of your comments or sa pangungulit nyo sa akin mga kaibigan. And then, yes, meron din akong Facebook page dyan sa baba na pwede nyong i-check para makapag-reach out sa akin. And dyan ko din po ginagawa yung live raffle draw. That's it mga kaibigan and thank you.